What happens when an actor suddenly becomes one of the hottest names on television, right after fans think he's about to disappear? That's exactly the chaos surrounding Steve Howey right now. One shocking TV exit, multiple major streaming projects, an unfinished character arc, and now fans are asking one huge question: is Steve Howey secretly setting up another dramatic goodbye? Because if you thought his exit from High Potential was the end of the story, think again. The biggest twist here is that Howey's career might actually be exploding because of the uncertainty. While audiences were still trying to process what happened to his character on High Potential, another series quietly pulled him into one of its darkest storylines yet off campus. And now fans are wondering if history is about to repeat itself all over again. So here's what's going on. In Off Campus, Steve Howey plays Phil, the abusive father of Garrett, played by Belmont Cameli. But this wasn't just another throwaway TV dad role. Phil is a former NHL player carrying years of emotional damage, anger, and toxic behavior. And unlike the original books by L. Kennedy, the television version made the character even more layered and unpredictable. That's where things got interesting. Fans expected the storyline to wrap up cleanly by the end of season 1. Instead, the show left massive loose ends hanging in the air. Phil's future wasn't fully resolved. Garrett's emotional journey wasn't complete. And suddenly audiences started asking, wait a minute, is Steve Howey coming back for season 2, or was this another setup for an exit? Even Belmont Cameli knows fans are nervous. In a recent interview, Cameli admitted he completely understands why viewers are worried, especially because every season of Off Campus focuses on a different couple. That structure naturally makes fans fear certain characters could disappear from the spotlight. But according to Cameli, the cast is staying connected to the story moving forward. And then Ella Bright added even more fuel to the conversation by confirming that key characters are expected to stick around. That sounds reassuring, but fans aren't fully convinced yet. And honestly, can you blame them? Because Steve Howey has suddenly become one of the busiest actors in streaming television. At the exact same time fans are debating his future on Off Campus, they're also panicking about his status on High Potential. And this situation might be even messier. If you watch the season 2 finale of High Potential, you already know the moment everyone's talking about. Howey's character Wagner gets shot, not injured, not threatened, shot. And the finale intentionally leaves his fate hanging in the balance. Morgan, played by Kaitlin Olson, arrives just in time to get medical help, but the ending never clearly confirms whether Wagner survives long-term. That cliffhanger instantly triggered theories across social media. Was this a dramatic fake-out, a temporary exit, or the writers quietly preparing viewers for Steve Howey to leave the show entirely? Then another bombshell dropped. Reports revealed that Howey had only signed a 1-year contract. Suddenly the speculation exploded. Because in television, short contracts usually mean one of two things. Either the actor wants flexibility, or the show isn't sure how long the character will last. And right now nobody seems to know which answer is correct. What makes this situation even crazier is the behind-the-scenes instability surrounding High Potential itself. The series has already gone through major leadership changes. Original creator Drew Goddard helped launch the show, then plans shifted. Rob Thomas was expected to become showrunner before stepping away before the premiere even happened. Then Todd Harthan took over, only to later exit as well to focus on a live-action adaptation of the Inheritance cycle. That's a lot of chaos behind one TV show. And whenever a series goes through major creative shakeups, character futures suddenly become unpredictable. But here's where things get even more dramatic. Todd Harthan actually teased that Wagner's story was only beginning before his departure. He hinted that the back half of the season would explore deeper emotional conflicts, messy relationships, and intense developments involving Steve Howey's character. In other words, the writers were investing more into Wagner, not less. That's why fans are confused. Why spend so much time building the character up if he's about to vanish? Some insiders now believe ABC could bring Howey back as a guest star in season 3, even if he doesn't remain full-time. That would allow the show to properly finish Wagner's arc while also giving Howey flexibility for his growing list of streaming projects. And that list is massive. Besides Off Campus and High Potential, Steve Howey is also attached to upcoming seasons of Ransom Canyon and The Lincoln Lawyer. That kind of schedule changes everything. Because actors balancing multiple streaming shows at once often face one major problem: availability. And when scheduling conflicts happen, writers are forced to make difficult decisions fast. Characters disappear unexpectedly. Storylines get shortened. Cliffhangers become exits, which brings us back to Off Campus. Fans are now watching every casting announcement, every interview, and every social media clue, trying to figure out whether Steve Howey's role in season 2 will expand or quietly fade away. And honestly, the uncertainty may actually be helping the show, because audiences are emotionally invested now. Viewers don't just hate Phil as a character, they're fascinated by him. He's complicated, damaged, manipulative, and unpredictable. The kind of TV character people argue about online for weeks. And those characters are incredibly valuable for streaming shows trying to build long-term engagement. Even Steve Howey himself seemed aware of that challenge when he talked about joining High Potential. He admitted he was worried about disrupting the chemistry of an already successful cast. According to him, introducing a major new personality into an established dynamic can easily backfire. But he also hinted that the story would evolve into something really cool, and that may perfectly describe Steve Howey's entire career right now. He's no longer just the funny guy audiences recognized years ago. Now he's becoming the actor who keeps showing up in emotionally messy, high-stakes streaming dramas where nobody knows what's going to happen next. And ironically, that unpredictability might be the very thing making him more popular than ever. Because today's audiences love uncertainty, they love theories, they love cliffhangers, and right now Steve Howey is sitting at the center of multiple TV mysteries all at once. Will Wagner survive High Potential? Will Phil return in Off-Campus Season 2? Could scheduling conflicts force another shocking exit? Or is Steve Howey quietly building one of the strongest comeback runs on streaming television? At this point, nobody truly knows, but one thing is becoming impossible to ignore. The more fans question whether Steve Howey is leaving, the bigger his presence on television becomes.